Hello, hello. Happy Friday. And we here again with the Living in the Miracle, real stories of everyday miracle. And today I have my beautiful guest, Suzanne. And Suzanne, please introduce yourself and tell a little bit more about what do you do in this beautiful world.
Awesome. Well, hello. Thanks so much for having me, Irina. My name is Suzanne Oldbridge. I'm a life coach. I'm a transformational life coach, loving my life. I help people, all kinds of people, but mostly I work with women who have gone through divorce, which is my experience, create a new life that they love. Because as we go through divorce, we can feel hopeless and helpless and like there is nothing next for us, but I am living proof. There is something good and wonderful that can come out of every situation. So that's what I do, and I love it.
Absolutely. And you're doing amazing, great job in this world because so many women would feel lost and feel not knowing what to do or helpless, right? So it's always good that you have that help and somebody who can guide you and make that process less painful and make it actually a beautiful, beautiful journey because something amazing, like you mentioned, in any bad situation, there is a seed of good, and it's all up to us to just, go with that and trust knowing that everything what's going on in our life is for our own good.
Right. Which is really hard to do when you're on your knees wailing at the loss of your life. I mean, I was there. I was a stay-home mom. I was fortunate enough to be a stay-home mom for 20 years. My passion was my kids. We built a beautiful home on property with acreage and, designed and like really created this place that I thought we were going to be sitting on the rocking chair on the patio, when we were 90 looking at our grandkids. But that's not the way my story went. There was an addiction and, and me not wanting to look at it, not wanting to know what I really did know, because if I let myself know what I really knew, I'd have to make a hard choice. And it took me 10 years, but I made the choice. And I had thought processes and people behind me when I made that choice, because if I didn't, I mean, like I said, literally, there were times when the kids would go to school and I would go from room to room, just drop to my knees and wail in the pain of the loss of this dream, this life dream that I had. Nobody gets married thinking they're going to get divorced. We all get married thinking it's going to be forever. So yeah, when we're in that place, it's hard to know that there is a new place. But like I said, I had thought processes. I had an affirmation that I said to myself, everything is always working out for me. Everything is always working out for me. I said it thousands of times a day, whether or not I believed it. It was a mantra that I could get stuck in my mind. And that's how it works, right? You start thinking a new thought and you think it long enough and you start to believe it, even if you don't know how. And pretty soon I'm fully divorced. I'm living in a new place that I love. I've created a new life for myself. My kids are happy and healthy. They're seeing the example of someone living their life fully and not living a pretend life. Because for me, for a long time, it was a pretend life. Looked really good to people on the outside, but those of us living it wasn't good. It didn't feel good. It was horrible. It was a fake life. So now I'm living a true life, an authentic life. And I love helping other people get to that point because, when you can't see it, you need a boost. You need some love and some support as you get on to creating your next best thing. So,
oh my gosh, thank you so much for sharing. And what comes for me, it's we all at certain point of our life, we all come to that realization that we could live a better life, or we are not living authentically as we should live, right? And the more we come to that awareness, the more we are ready for the changes. Because changes could be painful, but they are so necessary because it's part of the process, right? Because the changes are always happening in our life, whether we like it or not like it. And
Right.
it's wonderful that we become more conscious of it and knowing that we can actually direct our energy to make these beautiful changes for our own good, not just allowing the life happening to us.
Right. Yeah. It's like I mean, I think a lot of us think once we get to a certain age, we get out of school, we get married, we get whatever, we're done. We're done growing. But that's not life, right? I mean, you don't see a tree. I love the analogy of a tree. You don't see a tree that's 10 feet tall and says, okay, that's it, I'm done. Every year the tree grows more and more. Every year it loses its leaves and then it tucks in and grows. And then in the springtime, it gets new ones. So that's our human birth on this planet. We're always growing, whether or not. Yeah.
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 True. So true. So true. And I just love that plant behind you. It's again showing that thing that, like we are all living. And as long as we are breathing, we are constantly growing and evolving. When we are not growing, we are dying, right? There is no other option for us.
There is no other. And this plant, since you mentioned it, I'm going to go ahead and share with you. I love this plant. My grandmother planted this plant for me when I was 19 years old.
Wow.
This is like a 50-something-year-old plant. No, not old. But yeah, I've taken it from this place to that place. It's always with me, and it gets beautiful blooms twice a year. It's an affirmation of life.
Yeah, so beautiful. Thanks for sharing. So coming to the miracles, right? And that's exactly like that plant is a miracle. Like, oh my gosh, like over 50 years and it's alive, and it's just like such a great sign of knowing that we always can have what we want to have and just showing our life.
Yeah. Well, I have a fun miracle story. This is my most fun, biggest miracle story that I'd love to share with you if I can.
Sure.
So a while ago I was doing a process that my coach taught me. It's a receiving process. Sometimes we don't feel like we're receiving a lot. We're not grateful for we don't even maybe see what we do receive. So it's called the receiving process. And it's a 7-day experiment where every morning you wake up and you say, okay, today I am open and willing to receive all of the gifts that I get today. So I'm going through this process, and I mean, gifts are anything. Gifts are, finding a penny on the ground. It's like, oh, and you're acknowledging them. So, oh, thank you. There's abundance in my life. I found a penny. Somebody lets you in traffic, which is not a big deal, but they don't have to. So they do. So you see it as a gift and abundance and a miracle. So I'm going through I think I'm on like day 3 or 4, and I'm going out to the mailbox, feeling when you start doing this process, it raises your vibration. So you're always kind of high. You're on kind of a high of feeling good and abundant, and like miracles are welcome. So I go to the mailbox and I open it up and I see this brown envelope from the IRS. So a brown envelope is usually good news, right? I see it, but I'm like, this is weird. This is not tax time. I don't know what this is. And I open it up and it's a miracle of $1,400.
Woo-hoo!
It was from a tax return from many years ago that for circumstances I won't go into, I didn't expect to ever get. And I got it. It was a miracle. So I love that.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I just love it.
There's more. 2 days later, I went to the mailbox again and I got a check for $250 from one of those class action lawsuits that I opted into, 6 years ago. There's more money. So it's my stories, money miracles.
Wow, this is beautiful. And thanks for sharing, because it's very important to be open for receiving, right? Yes. So just the fact that you were opening yourself and you're saying you're ready to receive, and you were coming from that energy of abundance, knowing the universe is abundant. And sometimes we look at it that the only way of the income stream, it could be from our work source or for our, investments. But sometimes these things happen out of the nowhere. It could be just the winning or the gift or like unexpected check in the mail.
Right, right. And receiving an abundance can be anything. Like right now where I live, oh my God, there's an abundance of beautiful gold and orange and red leaves. And it's like, that is a gift to be able to see that every day. It's a miracle, you know?
Yes, absolutely. And I just love that story. And I know that you came packed with a lot of miracles. Tell me another one. Tell us.
Oh my gosh. Well, you know what? I consider every day waking up a miracle. I really do. It's like I didn't used to, but now it's like, okay, I woke up today. And I love Reverend Dr. Michael Beckwith. You know who he is? I love him so much. I heard a podcast he did recently where he's talking about getting in, finding your vibrational address. And, you know, and to me, when we create a vision, that the words that go with our vision, that the feeling words are kind of your vibrational address. And he says, when you wake up every morning, act like have you ever had somebody plan a surprise party for you and somebody else slipped and told you? So you know there's a surprise coming, but you don't know when or where. So it's like every morning I wake up and go, okay, I'm ready to receive the surprise coming today. The surprise good. So it's just a fun tool to use. It makes it fun, you know. And when I start getting off track or not feeling grateful or, you know, not looking for miracles, I'm just reminding myself I'm going back to my vibrational address of peace, joy, and freedom, which are what the words that bring me, you know, up there. So yeah, I think everything's a miracle. It's all about our perspective, right? If you're thinking everything is a miracle, your reticular activating system is going to go to work and find them for you.
That's so beautiful, Suzanne. Yeah, of course, that's exactly how it is. And it's interesting how you notice, like before you weren't in that vibrational state, right? You were not looking for the miracles. So like I said, people wake up in the morning and all of a sudden they start thinking about the problems, about all the negative things, right? Nobody even acknowledged the fact that, hey, I woke up. A lot of people didn't. It could be somebody's last day on this planet Earth, and I'm awake. I'm, you know, that recent beautiful experience of the gift called life, and I am a walking miracle. I'm a breathing miracle, right? And it's interesting, like once we really shift our focus on all the good that we have, and we start acknowledging it, and we become grateful for it, right? Like we always talk about the gratitude experience and practice. The more things we are grateful for, the more is there for us to be grateful for, because the universe keeps delivering.
It's just phenomenal. I think it's such a well-kept secret from the majority of the people on the planet is that you get more of what you're thinking of, right? If you're thinking of love and abundance and gratitude, that's what you're getting more of. It just is, it's the way it works. I mean, we can all look at somebody who, you know, has a crappy outlook, or they're always looking at the bad, and we look at their lives and it's like their lives are reflecting that attitude. So it's a choice. And I think a lot of people don't like to acknowledge that it's a choice because that puts the responsibility back on us. It's much easier to say, you did it. It's your fault.
Right. And we always look, you know, like our human nature, we always look for the excuses why we do not do something, right? We always find the external factors why we cannot do this and that, right? But actually everything starts from us. When we stop looking for these excuses, but understand that it's our responsibility, whatever choices we are making and decisions that we are making in life, they are actually directly projected on the results that we have in life.
I think so too. And I think the mere thought of that is really scary for some people. It's like, what? You mean I'm responsible for everything in my life? But it's like, it's okay. You don't have to change everything in a moment. You can just start changing one thing at a time. It's and the more you accept the responsibility and the more you start changing your thoughts and what you're doing in life, it's just going to start flowing easier and easier. Because I know when I first heard these tools, I was like, what? No, I wanted to run.
That's exactly how it is. And I just, I happen to know you for a couple of years now, right? And I just see how much happiness, how your eyes are just shining. And just to say that, I'm just a witness how the energy truly works when we do that inner work on ourselves. It's like it just projects in ourselves and on anything around us.
Oh, thank you. I feel like when we first met, I knew I wanted to be more the person that I am now, but I was scared and I was not confident and I didn't know if I had what or if I could do it. It was so scary to really step out and be the me that I want to be. So thank you for acknowledging that it's looking different now.
It does, and it does. And that's the thing. It's like, what I wanted to also point out, a lot of times we tend to compare ourselves to others. And that's the worst thing that we can do, right? Because the best way to do is to compare ourselves to a year before. Right. Because that's when we are going to notice the progress that we are making. And it's so important because I think in the society where we are living in, it's all about the competition. It's like, who is going to come first and who is going to be the winner. And this is exactly the corporate America, whatever, like they are projecting on people. Right. So it's all about the competition. It's all about the stress. It's all about, like that, like not the best quality to bring, not the best qualities in people. And I'm just so grateful that we stepped out of that, reality and created our own reality. Because in actual world, we can have any reality we desire. It just, it's just a matter of tapping into that, stick with that, and continue living the life to the fullest.
Yeah, we figure out what it is we would love, and we give ourselves like permission to fall down and stumble a little bit. And know it's okay. There's the analogy of the baby learning to walk, right? So when we're all doing something new, we all stumble and we fall. And a baby never says, I'm not going to walk because I didn't do it the first time. They just keep up. They keep trying. And we look at babies and say, of course, they're going to keep trying. But sometimes we look at adults and go, oh, you failed at that. You should do something else. But that's not the truth. The truth is, if it lights your heart up and it's what you really want to do, then you want to keep going, just like the baby learning to walk. You want to keep giving yourself permission to go. And like you said, looking inside, finding the strength and the power from inside and not looking at other people to tell you it's okay or you can do something. Yeah.
That's so true. And it's so important. Like that brings me to the point how important it is to surround yourself with like-minded people.
Yes.
And for that, I always consider miracle the internet, right? Like, the communities, the Facebook communities that, we could always be a part of, or we can create our own. It's all about finding people who are really with you. And they also want the same things that you want, right? Because it's difficult to be in the physical presence of the people because the family might not understand what we are going after. The friends might not understand. And it's acceptable because they were not where you want to go. So it's important to find like-minded people. And especially it's so important to find coaches and mentors who can actually propel you to that level and make it more pain-free as opposed to for the people just to do it on their own. That's why a lot of people start doing things and then they just quit because it's easy to quit when you don't have that support.
Or that, someone to hug you and tell you it's okay and keep going. Yeah. And it is so important who you surround yourself with, because if you're this way, if you're thinking on the positive side and you're surrounding yourself with people who think negatively, you're constantly kind of in a struggle. fighting against them. When you surround yourself with like-minded people, like you said, you're more in the flow of what you want to happen. And then you can go be around those other people. Some of them might be family or friends that you're not going to toss, but when the bigger majority of your time is spent around like-minded people, the time you spend with those people is not going to feel so constrictive and, not good. So.
Absolutely, Suzanne. And like I said, it's so good to start tapping into that energy of miracles, because if you expect the miracles are going to come in abundance.
I was so happy that you invited me on your show, because I'm like thinking, what are the miracles that I could talk about? What are my, miracles? Because even those of us in the work maybe don't think about our miracles all the time, but I had a lot of fun thinking about all the miracles in the last year, big ones and small ones that I've gotten to create. So thanks for the opportunity to bring all of those to the forefront.
Absolutely. And it's just good, like just for the listeners to tap more into that energy, right? Realizing rather than focusing our mind on something bad and negative, right? Just step outside of the news, step outside of everything what's going on around, right? And just tune in to something that gives you more life, something that makes your heart sing, right? Just, change the channel. Change the frequency, right? Stop watching the news. Watch the Discovery Channel. Watch the Animal Channel. Watch the Travel Channel.
Or if you feel like you want news, I love the Good News Network. There's actually a news network called the Good News Network, and all they do is good news. You can find them online, goodnewsnetwork.com, and you can get an email every day. That's actually part of my morning routine, is to open up the Good News Network and read some uplifting stories. It's a great way to intentionally set your day for good news.
That's beautiful, because I think we want to bring more awareness to the people that what you start your day with, be ready. That's exactly how your day is going to go. So you know what? It's funny, because my son, who is 9 years old, a lot of times he wakes up like in a cranky mood. And I keep telling him, I said, if you are in that kind of mood, just, see what's going to be in the school. Like, you charge yourself already with that negative energy, right?
Yeah.
And that's what happened for a lot of adults, because once they tune into the news, and obviously what do you hear? All the bad things, right? And I think it also has something to do with our brain. Like, our brain is so used to receive that negative information that it's like craving for it, right? Until we really reprogram our minds that we can actually think different. And when we wake up, and rather than thinking about the problems, start be curious and saying, I wonder what this day has for me. Like, what great things are gonna happen, or what miracles I'm ready to receive, right? I'm ready. I'm open. Just keep delivering. And I think from that energy, it just it brings you so much peace, so much interest, and so much enjoyment into your life.
Yep, absolutely. What we fire together, wires together. Is that how they say it? Mm-hmm. I just heard a really interesting talk on paradigms, our belief systems, and how they're just clumps of neurons that beliefs that we've held over time, consciously or unconsciously. It's just like a clump of neurons in your brain that's held together by something called neuronal glue. So when you start thinking a new thought, when you start looking at the good news, or, expecting the miracle, there's a part of you, this neuronal glue doesn't want to release and create the new pattern. It thinks, the world's ending if we're thinking of positive things, if we're used to thinking of negative. But it's just keep at it, keep thinking the positive thing, keep doing the thing, because eventually, apparently there's only so much neuronal glue in your brain. And when the positive things you keep thinking the positive things, that negative neuronal glue will dissipate, and you'll form new neurons around the positive. So that's a super simplified scientific explanation, but that's how it works in our brain. We can rewire our brain by our thoughts, by looking for miracles, by talking to happy, bubbly, shiny people. like Irina.
That's so beautiful. That's so beautiful. And thanks for sharing that beautiful scientific proof, right? Because some people are only thinking from logical minds and they're like, okay, give me like some science proof, right? And that's exactly like there are a lot of scientific proof already. So be sure that it's working.
It's working.
Yes.
Working. Aw.
Susan, thank you so much. It's such a pleasure. Just any last tip for the people who are watching? Anything that you want to share?
Oh, I'm just going to say keep watching the Friday Miracle Show. If it's the only day of the week where you're looking for miracles, keep watching this show and keep looking for miracles. Get up and expect something great to happen in your day.
Oh my God, that's so beautiful. That's true. Like imagine waking up on Friday and say, oh, today is my miracle on, right? And you already put on that energy of the miracle and just watch out how your day is going to unfold. Isn't it great?
Indeed.
Wow.
Love it.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much.
Oh, love you, Irina. Thank you so much for having me.
And thanks for joining us. And anybody, please contact Suzanne. She's amazing. And if you want to have one-on-one and talk to her, she is there. So I posted all the links. And I'll see you next week.
Love it. I have a workshop this Sunday if anybody wants to come. So thanks so much. Bye.